Welcome to Candle of Wisdom, where we explore practical advice for living a balanced, fulfilling life. Today we're diving into an important topic: things not to do for your adult children in your later years. While each person's journey is unique, and some of these ideas may not resonate with everyone, I encourage you to share your own experiences in the comments. Let's foster a supportive space for reflection and growth. If you find value here, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thoughtful insights. 1. Taking on their financial responsibilities. Let's start with something many parents can relate to: financial support. I once heard a story of a retired couple who, despite living on a fixed income, felt compelled to cover their adult son's ongoing debts. Over time, they paid his rent, covered his credit card bills, and even took out a loan to help him out of a financial bind. As much as they loved him, this constant financial support left them struggling to meet their own needs, putting their retirement plans on hold and leaving them feeling drained. It's easy to understand why parents might take on financial responsibilities for their children. It's often done out of love and a desire to help. However, when this support becomes a pattern, it can create dependency and even resentment on both sides. By continuing to bail out their adult son, the couple found that he hadn't learned to manage money on his own. So, why is stepping back from these financial responsibilities important, especially as we age? For one, it allows your children to build resilience and independence. Every financial decision we make has consequences, and when adult children learn to take responsibility for their choices, they gain invaluable life skills. They learn to budget, save, and plan, which can only come from facing challenges head-on without a safety net. For parents, maintaining financial independence is also essential. In our later years, unexpected expenses like healthcare, housing adjustments, or even day-to-day costs can arise. If too much of your income goes to your adult children, it leaves you vulnerable, which can add stress and anxiety about your own future security. Financial independence isn't just about money, it's about peace of mind. But stepping back doesn't mean withholding love or support. You can still encourage your children by offering practical advice or helping them find resources to improve their financial literacy. Many parents worry that by not stepping in financially, they're letting their children down. But in truth, setting these boundaries helps everyone involved. It gives your children a chance to grow, while you safeguard your own well-being. In short, it's about empowering yourself and your family to thrive in ways that go beyond financial aid. By taking this step, you're investing in a healthier, more balanced relationship and protecting your peace of mind. After all, love is about preparing your children to stand on their own, not carrying them indefinitely. 2. Taking on unwanted caregiving roles. Now let's talk about caregiving, a role many parents naturally fall into, even when it's unwanted or takes a toll on their own health. I remember meeting a woman named Alice who, in her late 70s, found herself caring for her young granddaughter almost daily. After her daughter returned to work, Alice began providing full-time childcare support. While she adored her granddaughter, the constant demands of babysitting left Alice exhausted and at times overwhelmed. Alice's story reflects a common dilemma. When does caregiving for grandchildren cross a line from support to sacrifice? This question becomes especially important as we age. Our instinct is often to help in any way we can, but it's essential to remember that caregiving, especially for young children, can be physically exhausting and emotionally draining. Alice loved spending time with her granddaughter, yet she found that her own health and energy were being affected. She had less time for her hobbies, her friends, and even for simple rest. It's okay to say no or to set boundaries around caregiving. This isn't about being selfish. It's about recognizing your own limits, especially in your later years. By setting clear boundaries, you're not only preserving your own well-being, but also teaching your children that, as much as you love them and their children, you too have limits. Stepping back from full-time caregiving doesn't mean you're abandoning your family. It simply means you're finding ways to support them sustainably. Alice eventually had an honest conversation with her daughter, and together, they arranged for part-time childcare assistance. This allowed Alice to still enjoy quality time with her granddaughter without sacrificing her health. Setting boundaries in caregiving roles actually empowers everyone. For your children, it encourages them to explore other options and manage their family's needs more independently. For you, it helps maintain your health, energy, and a sense of balance, allowing you to enjoy your later years fully. Remember, love doesn't mean shouldering every responsibility. Instead, it's about fostering a relationship where everyone's needs are respected. By stepping back from full-time caregiving, you're protecting your well-being and modeling a balanced, healthy approach to family support. This approach can deepen your bond with your family and ensure everyone grows together in a way that respects your needs and theirs. 3. Getting involved in their marital or relationship issues. Another important boundary to consider is avoiding involvement in your children's marital or relationship issues. I once met a man named George who shared his experience of being deeply involved in his son's marriage. When his son and daughter-in-law started having conflicts, they often came to George for advice, sometimes separately, sometimes together. George felt obligated to help, feeling that his guidance could make a difference. But over time, he noticed that his involvement was straining his relationship with both his son and daughter-in-law. This story highlights a common challenge for parents as their children navigate adult relationships. It's natural to want to offer wisdom, especially when you believe it could ease their struggles. However, getting involved in their personal relationships can create tension and even resentment. What George discovered was that by stepping into their issues, he became a third party in their marriage, adding complexity to a situation that required their own solutions. The reality is that relationships are deeply personal, and each person brings their own experiences, emotions, and perspectives into them. By intervening, even with the best intentions, we can unknowingly prevent our children from learning the skills they need to manage their relationships independently. More often than not, resolving relationship challenges requires direct communication between partners, not advice from family members. George eventually decided to step back, letting his son and daughter-in-law handle their issues on their own terms. He explained to them that, while he was always there to listen, he felt it was better for their marriage if he didn't give direct advice. This decision brought peace to his relationship with them and allowed them to work through their issues more freely. For parents, stepping back from these situations also protects your peace of mind. It's a reminder that while you've spent years supporting and guiding your children, some areas of their lives require a hands-off approach. Watching them face relationship challenges can be difficult, but trusting them to navigate their own paths fosters growth for everyone. In short, setting boundaries around involvement in your children's relationships is a sign of respect for their independence. It shows them that you trust them to manage their lives and that you're confident in their abilities to overcome challenges. This boundary not only helps you preserve your own emotional balance, but also encourages them to grow stronger and more self-reliant in their personal lives. So, by respecting their relationships as private territory, you strengthen your bond as a supportive parent, one who's there when needed, but knows when to step back. This balance can bring a deeper sense of trust and respect into your family dynamic. 4. Interfering in their parenting. Another crucial boundary is avoiding interference in how your children raise their own children. I remember a story from a grandmother named Linda, who, out of love and concern, would often give advice to us about how her daughter was raising her grandson. Linda would comment on his bedtime, what he ate, and even how much screen time he was allowed. While her intentions were good, over time, Linda noticed that her daughter was becoming more distant and defensive during their conversations. Linda's story reflects a delicate balance many grandparents face. Watching our children parent in ways that might differ from how we did it can be challenging. Often, we may feel that our experience can guide them, but unsolicited advice can sometimes come across as judgment or criticism. Linda learned that by constantly giving advice, she was unintentionally undermining her daughter's confidence as a parent, making her feel as if she wasn't doing enough. So why is it so essential to hold back? Parenting styles vary widely, and what worked years ago may not align with modern approaches. By stepping back, you give your children the space to establish their own routines, values, and methods. They need the freedom to make their own choices, make mistakes, and learn along the way, just as you did. After some reflection, Linda decided to change her approach. Instead of offering advice, she chose to be a supportive presence, available to help when asked, but refrain from commenting unless her daughter specifically asked for her opinion. This shift helped rebuild their closeness, and Linda noticed that her daughter even started seeking her advice voluntarily, now feeling respected and empowered in her role as a parent. For grandparents, stepping back is an act of trust. It sends a message that you believe in your children's abilities to raise their own families. And for your grandchildren, it allows them to have a consistent upbringing without feeling caught between two sets of expectations. This doesn't mean you have to withhold your experience and wisdom. There will be moments when your insights will be welcomed and appreciated. It simply means that by letting them lead, you strengthen their confidence and independence. In the end, respecting their parenting choices is about creating a positive, supportive relationship across generations. By giving them room to parent in their own way, you foster a more harmonious family dynamic. This boundary not only strengthens your bond, but also builds a legacy of respect and understanding for the whole family, allowing each generation to grow together in love and mutual respect. 5. Ignoring your own health and needs. Let's now focus on the importance of maintaining your health and well-being, even if it means saying no to your children's requests. I recall a story about Richard, a retired man who loved spending time with his family. His daughter would frequently ask him for help around her house and with her errands. Initially, he was happy to help, feeling it was his way of staying involved. But over time, Richard began to feel exhausted, experiencing aches and pains that were difficult to ignore. Yet he hesitated to say anything because he didn't want to disappoint his daughter. Richard's story is a powerful reminder of how, in our later years, prioritizing our own health isn't selfish. It's necessary. As much as we want to support our children, it's essential to remember that we're not as physically resilient as we once were. When we overextend ourselves, we risk our health and reduce our ability to enjoy our lives fully. Richard eventually recognized that, by always being available, he was compromising his well-being and his ability to spend quality, enjoyable time with his family. So why is protecting your health so vital, especially at this stage of life? For one, maintaining good health allows you to stay active and involved without experiencing burnout or strain. It also means that you can offer a positive presence when you do spend time with family, as you'll have the energy and vitality to be fully engaged. Your health, after all, is a precious asset, not only for you but for your family. They benefit more when you're healthy, well, and able to truly enjoy the moments you share. After a serious conversation with his daughter, Richard set new boundaries. He decided to help out only when he truly felt up to it, letting his daughter know that he needed to focus on his health. This adjustment not only protected his physical well-being, but also strengthened their relationship. His daughter began to appreciate the times he could help even more, and she grew to understand his need for balance. For many older adults, learning to set these limits can feel uncomfortable at first. But it's important to remember that by caring for yourself, you're actually providing a better, healthier version of yourself for your loved ones. Boundaries like this help preserve your quality of life and protect your independence. They also serve as a gentle reminder to your children that, while you're always there in spirit, your time and energy deserve respect. In the end, prioritizing your health sends a powerful message of self-respect. It shows your family that you value the life you've built and intend to enjoy it. This balance doesn't diminish your love for them, it enhances it, fostering a relationship that values well-being and mutual respect. 6. Sacrificing your own dreams and goals. Next, let's discuss the importance of not sacrificing your own dreams and goals, even as you prioritize family. I once heard about Carol, a retired teacher who had always dreamed of painting and traveling in her golden years. But as soon as her children started their own families, Carol felt compelled to put her dreams on hold. She spent her time helping with grandchildren, organizing family gatherings, and offering support whenever her children needed her. Although she loved her family dearly, Carol eventually realized that her own life and aspirations had taken a back seat. Carol's story is all too common. Many parents and grandparents feel a sense of duty to be available for their families, even if it means setting aside their own desires. But postponing personal goals indefinitely can lead to a quiet resentment or a sense of loss. Carol found herself yearning for the experiences she had imagined for years, but felt guilty for even considering them. Over time, this sacrifice began to weigh on her, leading her to question whether she had a right to her dreams at all. The truth is, we all have a right to pursue our interests and passions, no matter our age. Reaching retirement or entering later stages of life doesn't mean our dreams should end. In fact, these years are an ideal time to explore passions and hobbies that may have been set aside. By nurturing your own interests, you bring joy, fulfillment, and purpose into your life, which can positively impact your relationships with family. After some reflection, Carol decided to make a change. She communicated openly with her children, expressing her desire to explore painting and travel. Surprisingly, her family was not only supportive, but also excited to see her pursuing her dreams. Her children even began encouraging her to share her artwork and experiences, feeling proud of her accomplishments and new enthusiasm for life. This shift didn't weaken her relationship with her family, it strengthened it, as they now had a happier, more fulfilled mother and grandmother in their lives. For those in a similar situation, remember that pursuing your dreams isn't a betrayal of family values. It's a way to enrich your life and inspire those around you. By choosing to follow your passions, you show your children that life is meant to be enjoyed, no matter the stage. You set a beautiful example of lifelong growth and fulfillment, reminding everyone that our dreams don't have an expiration date. Ultimately, pursuing your goals not only adds meaning to your own life, but also enhances your family's respect and admiration for you. So cherish your dreams. They're a valuable part of who you are and can bring joy to both you and your loved ones. 7. Allowing them to depend on you for major life decisions. Let's talk about why it's essential not to let your adult children depend on you for major life decisions. I remember a story about Joan, a retired businesswoman who loved helping her son. From career choices to where he should live, he would always call Joan before making any big decision. Initially, Joan felt proud that her son valued her guidance so much. However, over time, she noticed that he rarely made a choice on his own and constantly sought her approval. Joan began to realize that her son wasn't building the confidence to make independent decisions. By always being the one he leaned on, she was unintentionally keeping him from trusting his own judgment and learning from his own experiences. This dependency not only put pressure on Joan, but also limited her son's ability to grow and take responsibility for his choices. It's natural to want to be there for our children, but allowing them to depend on us for every major decision can hold them back. Making mistakes and learning from them is a fundamental part of adulthood. Each decision, whether it turns out well or not, teaches valuable lessons that help build resilience, problem-solving skills, and confidence. When we constantly step in, we're unintentionally preventing our children from gaining these essential life skills. Joan eventually had a heartfelt conversation with her son, explaining that she would always be there for him, but that she wanted him to make his own choices. She encouraged him to trust his instincts, even if it meant making mistakes. Initially, it was challenging for both of them. Her son felt uncertain, and Joan had to fight the urge to intervene. But over time, her son began to make decisions on his own and found a new sense of confidence. Their relationship grew stronger, with a newfound respect and appreciation for each other's independence. Allowing your children to make their own big decisions doesn't mean you're withdrawing support. Instead, it's a way of empowering them to develop self-reliance. As parents, one of the greatest gifts we can give our children is the belief that they are capable of handling life's challenges. This doesn't mean we can't offer advice when asked, but the ultimate choice should be theirs. In the end, stepping back from being the decision-maker brings balance to your relationship. It respects your children's independence while allowing you to focus on your own well-being. This shift fosters mature, mutual respect and gives your children the tools they need to succeed on their own terms. In conclusion, as we age, learning to set healthy boundaries with our adult children becomes essential, not only for our own well-being, but also for their growth. By stepping back in certain areas, you empower your children to build confidence, resilience, and independence, while preserving your peace of mind. Remember, true love sometimes means letting go and allowing them to navigate life on their own. Thank you for watching. If you found these insights helpful, please like the video and subscribe to Candle of Wisdom for more practical advice on life, relationships, and emotional well-being. Let's continue this journey together.